Hey guys, today I will be doing a grimoire or a book of shadows tour, whatever you want to call it. This is just a great sketchbook that I have it in. Start from the side. I've actually already done a completely another grimoire. I've already filled out another one, so this video has been a while in waiting. So let's just get straight into it. It's my first page. I really love how this turned out. This is my own personal sigil, specifically for my grimoire. Personal information. This card that I made ages ago. I think it turned out really nice. A book blessing that I did, my handprint, sealing my energy in the book. And then I've got goals for this grimoire about me. I've got aura color, energy color. It's just more stuff about me, some of my beliefs. I've then got my massive index. And then I've got stuff about my Celtic zodiac, which is the white stag. Really love how this painting came out. And then I had a flip out piece here. Really pretty, I love how this came out. Sorry if you can hear my fan in the background, it's really loud. My shadow self. Astrology and like about Lilith placements and stuff. I won't get into that side of the page. Traits and trauma that go along with the astrology about the shadow and Lilith placements mainly. And then this is actually like the Lilith placements in astrology, because if you aren't aware, there are actually 4 different Lilith placements. They all sort of, combine to make the same thing, which is your shadow, basically. But they all sort of mean slightly different things about the shadow. So you have the dark moon Lilith, the black moon Lilith, which has 2 different placements. You have the true black moon Lilith and the mean of the black moon Lilith, which are just mathematical equations of the same placement. And then you have the asteroid Lilith. And then you have my Lilith placement specifically. Astrology and abundance. So this is just derivative astrology about abundance. So basically tying it to the 9th house. This is about Lu, the Celtic god. This page turned out really well. I love it. It's stunning. Look at this painting. I've got stuff about Fae. Love how when you have a page about Fae, the majority of the page is just a warning. Accurate. I've got stuff about draconic ethics. Little scene gets more done. Look for the truth in the heart of hearts. A lie bones birth the liar and the silent listener. If you want to know what these means, this just means like, basically do, don't tell. You know how people tell you that like when you do a spell, you don't tell people about it because the evil eye is very much a thing, and also like if you hex someone, you do not tell them about it. Something along those lines. And also like don't just talk about how you're going to do something, actually just do it. Look for the truth in the true of hearts. That's kind of hard to explain. It's, how do I explain this? It's sort of like everyone sort of knows the truth and you kind of just have to figure it out. Lie bones burns both the liar and the silent listener. That basically means if you hear someone lie and you know they're lying, you're just in the, and you don't say anything, you're just in the wrong as the person lying. And it sort of falls under the category of like being a bystander. So if you see someone doing something wrong and you don't do anything, you are just as bad as the person doing something wrong. Be true to the responsibility of the balance. This sort of falls under the fact that like everyone is sort of responsible for mainly our environment, because the Earth, humans have to sort of be in balance with the planet, and we are not great at that. Silence and magic are both needed. That's something similar to what I said earlier. Sort of like as you can see, it says the best magicians work quietly without anyone knowing. Honor your elders, for they carry important ancient knowledge. exactly what it says. Be respectful and honor your elders. Evil lives. Oh, sorry. Evil gives no forewarning and no cause for relief. Basically, that just means evil shows up in different forms. Evil, as whatever you define it as, shows up in different forms, and it never really stops, and it gives no warning. It just happens. Dignity speaks well of the messenger. It basically just means when you have bad news to give someone, when you're the person in between and you're able to stay calm, the universe sort of looks fondly on you. You color your own light. Exactly what it means. You carve your own path, basically. What happens to one stone reflects on all. Basically means that when something happens to anything in your own existence, basically. So if something was to happen to the dragons, for example, because we're talking about the Scorpionic ethics, if something bad was to happen to the dragons, it would affect Earth and it would impact humans. And then I have types of dragons. I've got guardian dragons, air dragons, fire dragons, if you want to pause to look at them, water dragons, earth dragons, planetary dragons, really like the idea of those, chaos dragons, the ancients, which as it sounds the most ancient of dragons, fae dragons, which is why the fae is like a thing that's discussed right before this. General information about dragons. You can't really read that. And then personal dragon stuff, that's just about myself. More information about them. Energy. The draconic elements, which are apparently, I haven't really gotten into them too much, but apparently they're really hard to understand because they sort of don't work by human means. They're obviously because they're draconic. So they follow different sort of laws and then do what not to do when working with dragons. I don't actually work with dragons, I think, as far as I'm aware. If I had one on my spirit guide team, I wouldn't have a clue, if I'm being completely honest. I'm not far enough to like be certain of that. But I have always had like a fondness for dragons and dinosaurs, which apparently, fun fact, having an interest in dinosaurs is apparently common for people who have dragon guides. And then I have stuff about my spirit guides, according to astrology. Really like how this artwork turned out. I just got bored and did that. I really like how it turned out. And so this is about the 12th house. And fun fact, I actually found out from doing this. This specifically. So this is derivative astrology again. So 3 houses from the 12th house is how your spirit guides communicate with you. And because mine's in Pisces, I found, to be fair, I also have Aries placements in the 2nd house. But my 3rd house is actually ruled by Pisces. So 2 things that tend to happen. The most common one is that literally, I swear to Lord, any dream I can remember has always been a message from my spirit guides. It's always, they spend so many of their messages through my dreams. It's not even funny. And I tend to have a lot of like spiritual sort of epiphanies when I'm doing, like, if I'm on a walk or something, if I'm doing something active. Yeah, I figured that out from that page. Astrology is. And then on this page, I have stuff about unicorns because I found them really interesting. They're not really talked about. They are spiritual entities that you can work with. It's a bit hard because they're very friendly towards humans, but they're a bit skittish from what I've heard. So they're kind of hard to call on. Entities and deities and entities that I feel drawn to. That was a while ago. Stuff about inner child work. I think this page turned out really pretty. Astrology days, Sunday ruled by Saturn. But I also added like my own ones in here because I figured that going based on astrology, you should probably dress more the way that the planet that rules those days, what zodiac you have in that planet. So say for example, Sunday I have a Capricorn and I have a Capricorn sun. Monday ruled by the moon, I have an Aries moon, etc., etc. Saturday. It's about my ancestors, so there's not really much for me to show you. Celtic Scandinavian ones. Those are my Aboriginal ones. Astrology returns I have this year. Fantastic. It's not gonna be great. Plant associations, there's a few of these. I've got my aglaonemas, arrowheads, ivy, snake plants. I've got like regular ones, and then I've got some that I personally associate with them. Spider plants, pothos, philodendron, peperomia, peace lilies. I have this artwork that I did a while ago. Lucky bamboo, happy plants, yes, that is what they are called. Ficus tinky, which is like a, actually I can't remember what they're called regularly. Aloe vera, cactus, succulents, and then I never really finished this page. Difference between charms, amulets, and talismans, and then just like a very simple spell to create those things. Me trying to decide on sigils. Really like how a lot of these turned out, but they're a bit too complicated. My own personal color associations. Devils and Lovers, which is my birth tarot. So I've got a fair bit on this actually. Yeah. Astrology and fashion, so I have my sun, my moon, my rising, my Venus, my Mars, my Jupiter, and my Lilith. I like astrology, can you tell? Oh, that was sticky. Stuff about my own craft. So I just had this page and I didn't know what to do with it. I have this, which I just have a quote on. And it says, and don't think that you... Oh my god, that did not come out right. And don't think that you have no beauty. You do. But you're still afraid to look at it because it's not the kind that you want. Making more sigils. Sigils. This is my own ones. This is about fire. Earth, water. I don't think I finished these actually. Yeah, about halfway through air and then I kind of stopped. And spirit, and I finished it. Stuff about foxes. I have a little booklet in this pocket. Yeah, and then I have a sigil for foxes that I made. I have grimoire prompts to do. I've done some of these. Chaos magic. I realized at some point that I actually didn't know what chaos magic was. So I read about it. I have this really random painting. I think I was going to do like a planet, but I never really finished it. And it's just like this cool energy orb. I don't even really know what to describe it as, but yeah. And then this is just for future me. I still haven't opened these since I did them about a year ago. I really like how this turned out. This was on accident. This was not what she was meant to look like. It was just a regular drawing, and then I started realizing that I had some certain colors that I never used, so I used them on her, and now she is next to the servitor page. I feel like she fits servitors very well. Servitors are sentient beings made from our energy and our intentions, and they're sort of like, I mean, like I guess a home guardian could be sort of referred to as a servitor, I suppose. It's more of like a little sentient energy that you give jobs to, and then you sort of feed it by it finishing that job. And then I was like making up names for certain servitors I'd like to make at some point. You have to be careful with them because they actually do take up your energy, so. Ways to honor my ancestors, my personal astrology. I will admit, despite the fact that I am an artist, a lot of this is just writing. You have a few pages where you have like artworks like this, but it is largely just writing. This is about my first house, so I have another sort of pocket, and then I have pages. So. And then I have this girl, which definitely gives Aquarius vibes to me. That's why she's there, and I'm in Aquarius rising, so. I have my Capricorn stellium. And then I did this. I actually really loved how this turned out. I folded the page. The perfect routine of my day based on astrology. And then the state of my space. So like interior designing and stuff based on astrology. And it flips out. And then abundance with friends and gaining followers. I've got my Venus in Capricorn, my Scorpio midheaven, and my Jupiter Scorpio in the 9th house being conjunct with each other. My Aries 2nd house placements, my moon and my north node are conjunct. It's right next to each other. Glamour magic. I think this is the first time I've ever done glamour magic and actually liked the page. I've got my chart. Hierarchy of needs, which is more psychology than anything. Rising persona charts. This is something I just, I guess about a few months ago figured out was a thing. It's basically, if you were to put a magnifying glass up to all of your astrological placements and zoomed in, they all have like their own natal charts to every planetary placement. It's a thing. I've got stuff about my Chiron placement, stuff about my Saturn placement. There's a lot of writing, like I said. My aesthetics and glamour magic. So glamour magic, but making it interior designing. This painting. It's very simple and it's not my best, but I really like the colors. So stuff about Beltane of last year. This is a page about my favorite stuff in different categories, like favorite crystals, favorite flora, so plants, favorite animals, favorite weather, etc., etc. There's a lot of it. And then I have every single favorite that's listed here. I have them listed here in sections, and then I have associations with those things, my personal ones. This was so much stuff and I never even finished it. And then I have some stuff about bank work. There's that one there that you're not allowed to see. I did my shadow like how I did earlier in the book. I think, was it in this book? Question mark? Wait. So I did this and then I redid it later on. Improvement. It's my shadow. I learned about soul planets, which is a whole ass different thing in astrology. Mine is the sun in Sagittarius in the 12th house, which makes a freakish amount of sense. I did, again, like I did earlier, astrology with style and fashion and stuff and beauty. Each zodiac, my chart and what house they're in, and then what each planet falls under them. What each house means. And then I have sort of my own names for them. Some of them are the same as the regular names, but I do have some of my own names. And then I have how I view them. So 1, 4, 7, and 10 are like pillars of the houses, and then everything revolves around them. What each zodiac means. Yeah, astrology is a pretty big part of my craft, so. Got a positivity spell. I really like how this page turned out. These papers are really pretty. I wanted an excuse to use them for something, and I like how this drawing turned out. This is like what I should do based on astrology in my craft. I don't necessarily do all of this, but it is just something I like to do. I wanted a place to stick these in mainly. I never ended up finishing this. I was going to do my own full moon names because I live in the southern hemisphere, so the moons are different as it is. And then I did this painting. I really like how this painting turned out. And then I have like personifications of persona charts in my chart. I have my moon persona chart, and then I have my Uranus persona chart. I really like how she turned out, she's cool. My Uranus placement, choice theory, which is, I guess, more of like a philosophy thing than a witchcraft thing, but I do think philosophy is a pretty big part of witchcraft. My Neptune in Aquarius in the 12th house. I'm flipping out these because I needed more information, more space. My Pluto placement. What zodiac equals what degrees in astrology? Because if you don't know, each degree is sort of ruled by a zodiac. So, and then I have some stuff about critical degrees and how each different type of zodiac, so cardinal, fixed, and mutable, have different degrees that are critical for them. And then I have stuff about the planets, what they mean. I have stuff about cord cutting. My Jupiter placement again. So about some tarot cards specifically, some specific ones. Stuff about making a home guardian. This isn't necessarily what I would use, because I will likely soon, sorry if you saw my foot there, likely soon be making one, but this probably won't be what I do. My retrograde placement, so I have Saturn and Venus in retrograde. I never went back to finish these. I also have some asteroids in retrograde as well, like I have Psyche and Juno in retrograde. And then I have my Saturn persona chart and my personification of it. Planning my protections, again, isn't necessarily what I did, because this was a while ago. Like I mentioned, I've done an entire grimoire since this. It took me a while to get around to this video, so this is a bit different. Not magic. My Mercury placement, balance and chaos being seen as opposites. I believe balance and chaos are opposites of each other. Ooh. Oh, here's another one where I flipped the page and I really love how this page turned out. I have my Taurus placement, my Taurus Mars placement. I did a drawing of a snake. I like snakes. It's my totem. I've got my Lilith placement. And then it flips. I've got stuff about eyes because of my belief about how eyes are really important. I've got stuff about the law of connection. The universal law of connection. I like how that tree turned out. I've got stuff about metaphysical forms. I think this is like one of the last things I did. This is about the subtle body and basically the stuff that isn't physical, the stuff you can't see. So you have the subtle body and then what makes up the subtle body. So the soul, energy centers, which in Western world is called chakras. Whereas there isn't necessarily just the chakras though, there could be more or less. Energy channels, those connect the energy centers, the higher self. I'm not explaining that. And then I have stuff about my own, and then I did a drawing of what I think mine looked like at the time, because they never really stay the same, they're always shifting. And then I've got my sun placement, because I realized I rarely do anything about my sun placement, and then I have this drawing. I was gonna write something, but I never ended up doing it. I really like how this drawing turned out. It's really pretty. So yeah, that's this grimoire. And then I've got an entire another one which I need to do another video of, so stay tuned for that. It'll probably be on my channel by the time you watch this one. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my videos in general, please consider subscribing. If you didn't like this video, that's fine as well. Regardless, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye.